The Pigeon Forge Rod Run is an amazing event, and it happens twice a year, bringing thousands of people into town. And it's pretty cool because you get to see a wide variety of cars. You got restored muscle cars, you got hot rods and rat rods, you got some gassers, a lot of pro street cars, and some really wild creations that you'll never see anywhere else. The first car we're going to look at is a 1964 Pontiac GTO. Now, I like the color combination on this car, and obviously under the hood I like this 389 tri-power induction. You can see this thing's got power brakes with that little single pop master cylinder, and then as we back up we can see this car has a great overall look. The red line tires are great, but what I really like the most are these Hurst wheels. These are extremely rare and definitely difficult to find some that are in this good a shape. Obviously these have been restored, beautiful condition. You can see that Hurst cap in the middle. They've got that chrome ring popped on there. This is a great looking combination on an early GTO. Next up is a cool pro street car. I love these little Anglias, whether they're a drag car or a gasser, whatever they are, these things just look cool. This one appears to be a 48 model, judging by the tag on the back, and you can see it's got a great stance. Got it sitting nice and low in the front. They've trimmed the fenders out a little bit for the tire clearance. And then we look in here, rolled and pleated interior, padded dash, plenty of fans there to keep your passenger cool, and just a great looking car. The paint's definitely got some age on it, but this old car still looks good, and I saw them cruising it around throughout the weekend. Here's another paint job with some age on it. This time we've got a 1972 Chevrolet Nova. Now this is a pretty basic car. It's a 307 with a 350 turbo, and this thing has 31,000 original miles. And this is the original paint on here. So this car has had a few little modifications done. You see it's got the early style American mags on it, some big beefy radial tires on it, but otherwise this appears to be a pretty much original car. And we look on the inside, it's got black interior, and that's pretty rare in itself because most of the time this would be green or brown or some ugly color. But the black looks really good, and it is in flawless condition. You can see the dash and the instrument panel is really looking good. They've got an aftermarket radio in there, but otherwise this appears to be completely stock. And as we back up, we can see that paint still has a nice shine to it. Obviously this car's been took care of for many years. I've noticed over the last few years that big trucks and box vans are a great platform for custom builds, and this is a nice example. This probably was a bread truck or something like that back in the day, but this guy's put it down on the ground, obviously has modern drivetrain underneath it, and painted it up with this Yoo-Hoo paint scheme. This thing's got some fake patina on it, so don't hate on it too bad, but overall this thing got a lot of attention everywhere it went. Next up we got some real patina. This time it's on a 39 Pontiac Coupe. Now I showed you guys this car last fall from the Rod Run, and it's changed hands a couple times since then, but nothing has changed on this car. Down to the tires, the wheels, everything about it is just like it was, but I wanted to show it again because it's just a neat old Survivor. This thing's got old paint on it. Obviously it's coming apart, but you can see a little bit of the hand lettering is surviving on this thing, and you can see this car has an Oldsmobile motor, 2.4s, old Edelbrock valve covers on it, basically untouched Survivor status on this car. Lots of 60s parts. The interior is flawless and it's amazing, just like stepping back in time. Everything about this car is cool, and it's still out here, and I believe it's still on the market. There's always tons of variety at the Rod Run, and I wanted to show you this really cool Jeep. This thing looks like it has been out in the desert somewhere, but look at the badges on here. This thing's got a really cool look. They got the skinny, knobby tires on there, steel wheels and dog dish caps. This thing's got a really cool look. You can see they've patched a little bit on the roof. It's still got a roof rack on it, by the way. And on the inside, this thing is just like it left the factory, except with a little bit of wear and tear. But you can see those Jeepster Commando emblems on the front. This thing is just a really neat piece, and it's cool to see it out here. Now here's another Jeep, this time a wild one. This thing has been cut up and set right down on the ground over what I assume is a completely custom tube chassis. You can see they do have a couple of ducts there on the dash, but a roll bar, racing seats, big tires stuffed up under the back. This is the ultimate Pigeon Forge cruising machine. Here's another pro street car, this time a Ford Mustang Coupe, and you can see this car's got a nice paint job on it. The two-tone scheme looks good, and it's got some American Racing 5-spoke wheels, skinnies on the front, Looks like maybe some 14 or 15 inch wide wheels on the back. Just a really cool looking pro street car, and you don't see a whole lot of Ford guys going this route. Just a real nice, tasteful car. Now here's something you don't see every day, a G-body El Camino painted up like Dale Earnhardt. So this is obviously a Dale Camino, but you can see Goodwrench sponsorship here on the hood. Got the number 3 on there. I mean, this thing looks pretty legit, and I saw it cruising around quite a bit over the weekend. Now this one was like seeing an old friend after a long time, even though it hasn't been that long since my buddy Kyle traded this Nova for another car. But I've gotten to take some really fun rides in this car. I've gotten to see this thing make lots of passes down the drag strip, and it was cool to see it here pretty much untouched from the way Kyle left it. Cool single turbo setup on an LS engine. It's got a 350 turbo transmission, 8.8 rear end, and all of this is in a ratty 4-door car. It's way faster than it should be, and it was a lot of fun on the street and at the track. Here's another pro street car, but this time a little more mild on the rear tire and wheel fitment, even though these little Chevy 2s don't hold much tire, so they probably had to cut a little bit on it. But up front here, small block Chevy, big B&M blower, 2 Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetors. This is a neat looking setup, and I'd say it runs pretty good too. You just gotta love the old school Mickey Thompson Sportsman tires. This is the quintessential pro street tire, especially when you see them mounted up on some old centerline wheels like this. This little Model T Coupe has an aggressive look because of those giant rear tires. It's got a little bit of a chop top. You can see it's got open headers. It's got those gasser style wheels on the front, and of course flat black paint with little red pinstripes. It's a pretty cool hot rod. Here's another Model T Coupe, very similar setup here. You can see this one's got a satin red paint job, the gasser 10-spoke wheels, but this one has a little more aggressive chop and a little more aggressive stance. You can see it's got 2 4s on that small block Chevy, drag radials on the back, really cool channeled body over the frame, a really neat looking hot rod. Now this next one is just plain bad. This thing is flat black, and it is a 41 Willis Coupe, which those things are cool no matter how you do it, but this is a full-on race car on the inside. You can see it's got a full cage. You can see it has racing seats and harnesses, detachable steering wheel, and I'm assuming this is a fiberglass body, which is totally okay in my book because this thing is just super cool. It's sitting perfect right on the ground, and look at these front wheels. These are American Racing wheels. These are patterned after their spindle mounts, but they're actually a bolt-on wheel. They look so cool. They didn't make many of them, and they look right at home on this car. Then we see small block Chevy, big blower, and what appears to be 2 4-barrel carburetors, but those are actually EFI throttle bodies, and then a really cool scoop on there. That stainless scoop, it's got the right shape, the right look. You can see they've put a chin spoiler on this thing, which I'm kind of on the fence about, but overall this is a really neat car. My only regret is that I didn't get to hear it run. You can usually count on some old barn finds and survivors to show up on the strip in Pigeon Forge, and this is a really good example. This is a 69 Camaro, super sport car, 350, at least that's what the badges say, and we see this thing is fully complete, looks like it's pretty much rust-free, and it's rolling on some poverty caps here with beauty rings. All the badges, all the trim are in place, the glass looks good, interior looks okay. This is a really great survivor. Notice that it doesn't have a spoiler on the back. This is a cool car that has a ton of potential, but if it were mine, I'd have to just leave it like it is. They're only original once. Next up is a little Vega. Now these cars are really cool, especially the early ones like this with the little chrome bumpers, and they kind of look like a Camaro in the front. This one's got a small block Chevy, tonal ram, and 2 4s. It's probably a handful because you can see how far forward that engine has to be. These cars only handled good when you could cut the firewall out and really set that engine back. But regardless of that, they look super cool, especially with a scoop sticking out of the hood, especially with some big weld wheels on the back and skinnies on the front. This one definitely got my attention. Next up is probably my favorite car on the strip. This is a 33 or 34 Plymouth Coupe, and it looks just like my father-in-law's car, his hot rod that he built in the 60s. This thing has some really cool details, including a blown small block Chevy up front, but look at the front suspension setup on this thing. Split wishbones, 40 Ford style axle. You can see it's even got the old combination master cylinder mounted to the firewall. You got some old low back bucket seats, metal flake steering wheel, some cool old school gauges, and then of course out back you've got some good looking Firestone cheater slicks, 5-spoke wheels, and then they've put some patina, some sort of paint or coating on those wheels to give it that gray magnesium look. This car has a great stance, great combination of parts and pieces. It definitely inspires me to go home and get to work on my father-in-law's car. Here's another pro street car, this time a Nash Metropolitan. Now most of the time you see these cars, they're either red and white or pink and white or turquoise and white, but that all black paint job really gives this thing a cool look. You can see they've flared the front fenders a little bit to provide a little more clearance, and then of course you got a scoop sticking out of the hood. I always like the shotgun style scoop like that. Billet Specialties wheels on there, a great looking stance, and a very slick paint job. And here's another pro street car. You can see the giant rear tires and wheels. They've opened up those wheel wells a little bit there on this 55 Chevy two-door station wagon. And then where the hood should be, there is a big block Chevy, big YN supercharger, 2 Edelbrock carburetors, the full treatment on this pro street 55 Chevy. Here's another one of these vintage bread trucks, and this thing is super cool. This is one of my favorites out of all the bread trucks and big commercial trucks that I saw. You can see the Metro badging there on the front, and look at that low roof line, obviously the very low stance with the artillery style wheels, the vintage Whirlpool lettering on there. This is just a really cool combination. Now here's a cool little nugget that I saw on the street. This is one of those Don Perdome Pepsi Challenger funny cars that were used for promotional purposes, but this one has been repainted and it says Atwood Pontiac Buick, Lenoir City, Tennessee. So this thing is in excellent condition. Obviously it's been put away for a long time, but they have put a brand new Predator engine on it. It looks like something you could hop in and take around the block. Now I definitely wouldn't mind taking this one around the block. 67 Chevelle Super Sport 396, and this appears to be an original Survivor. You can see somebody put hood pins on this thing at some point in its life, but the rest of this car appears to be original. It's got black steel wheels and dog dish caps, bigger tires than factory, but still a factory look. You can see that Georgia State Patrol inspection sticker on there. That's from 77 and 78. Obviously the body and the paint on this car has a little bit of wear and tear, but you can see those stripes down the bottom are still intact. The black panel on the back looks great. And on that back panel, we see the original dealership tag, Stamey Chevrolet in Cleveland, Georgia. This is a really great car. I'm assuming it still has the original 396 under the hood, but who knows at this point. This thing is cool either way. There's always tons of Tri-5 Chevys at the Pigeon Forge Rod Run. This one got my attention because of the stance with those American racing wheels, and then the paint has just enough age on it that it just looks super cool. It looks like it's been on there forever. And then on the interior, it's a Delray interior package. You can see it's got a tack on the dash, Hurst 4-speed shifter sticking up, just a really cool looking old school hot rod car. And we back up and get a look at this thing. The stance on this car is just like what you would have done in the 1960s, and the patina is just right. Here's another pro street car and another Chevrolet, this time a Chevy Nova SS, and this one has the Yenko stripe package. It even has the Yenko stripes on the big cowl induction hood. It's got a roll bar in there with some Yenko details on the seats, and this thing rolls on the tried and true Convo Pro wheels with some big old Hoosier tires on the back. All right, now some of these rat rod creations get a little bit too wild for my taste, but I wanted to show you this one because it has a really cool engine combination in it. This is a 348 Chevy, classic W motor from the late 50s, maybe early 60s. You can see it's got 3 deuces with those frog mouth breathers on there, open headers. This is a cool looking combination, especially with those fin valve covers. Here's another 55 Chevy, this time a 210 two-door sedan, and they've got this car looking right. It's got a good stance, American Racing 200S wheels, and on the inside, nice and clean, black interior with a tack on the steering column. And then we back up here, this thing's got a great stance and a cool look, and they drove this thing up and down the strip all weekend long. Now here's an interesting one. I showed you a Vega earlier and talked about the handling issues. Well, this one doesn't have those issues because it's got the engine set back, but in reality, it actually has a very stretched front end, and this car is sitting on a custom tube chassis. It's essentially a race car underneath that somebody has built into a street car. Finally, I got something for the Mopar guys. Check out this Dodge Power Wagon, and this thing's got a crazy suspension setup on it. It's got airbags, solid axles front and back, but the real wow factor is this engine. It has an aluminum 426 Hemi with a big blower. We're talking a billet blower shop blower, two giant 4-barrel carburetors, shotgun scoop. I mean, this thing has a serious engine combination. Here's another Pro Street car, 55 Chevy Bel Air, 2-door hardtop, and it looks like the color came straight out of the 90s. This is sort of like that fuchsia color that people used to use. And this car's got some diamond stitched interior, which looks really nice. Grant steering wheel, of course, that's a staple of the 1990s. And then we got a small block Chevy with a Wine supercharger, single 4-barrel carburetor, and that iconic bird catcher scoop that everybody ran in the 80s and 90s. This thing is kind of like stuck in time, but I love it. Moving on to the actual show at the LeConte Center, there's a lot of great stuff to see here. And we're starting front and center, this 68 Camaro, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's kind of a cross between a show car, a Pro Street car, and a drag car, all mixed into one. And we see this thing has a serious TRE racing engines, big block with a Fogger nitrous setup, huge stainless headers, tons of beautiful details on this car that kind of take it outside of that normal drag racing realm and put it more into that show car category. And then out back we see it's got wheelie bars, sheet metal wing, dual parachutes, bead locks on those extra super deep weld wheels, Mickey Thompson slicks, and a beautiful paint job to finish it all out. Next up is a crazy creation, and I don't even know what to call this thing, but we've seen some cars like this before, and usually they have like a motorcycle engine or some kind of 4-cylinder, but this one has a tried and true small block Chevy. You can see those custom stainless headers running out the back, and this thing has a big supercharger on it, 2 4s, and a big old scoop sticking up above the roof. This is a crazy combination with a little 2-seater with the engine in the back, and check out those rear tires and wheels. Those things are huge. Here's another one for the Mopar guys, this time about a 65 Plymouth Belvedere. And this thing has a beautiful bright red paint job, still got all of its original trim and moldings and emblems. And on the inside we see a little bit of modernization here, got a modern steering wheel, modern gauges, but otherwise this is a very original looking car on the outside. But my favorite part of it is the skinny 5-spoke wheels on the front, the big steel wheels on the back that are painted body color, and some big old tires. It looked like it could have been romping around the streets in the 1960s or early 70s. Now here's a cool one. This thing started life as an early Ford Thunderbird and was designed and built by Gene Winfield, one of the most famous car customizers in the world. Now unfortunately Gene passed away not too long ago, but he left an impact on this industry. He built some of the most iconic custom cars, and he was known for his custom fade paint jobs and so much custom work. And this is one of his creations. You can see the custom bodywork on this car, the flared out fenders, the custom rocker panels, all of the molded pieces. Everything is smooth and slick and obviously painted very nicely. And I love those little scallops on this thing. That's a perfect finishing touch, and it goes great with those Coker white wall tires. Here's another Pro Street car, and this is a super high-end 69 Camaro show car. This thing has a beautiful paint job, and look at the interior. This is about as high-end as you can get, and then under the hood, again, tons of great details. And look how far that LS engine is set back under the cowl. This thing is serious. It's got a great stance, cool paint job. I love the hockey stick stripe with a little swoop on the end there. Really great looking car that's absolutely packed with custom details. Now here's one of my favorite cars inside the show this year. This is a beautiful bright red 67 Camaro, and this thing has the perfect day 2 combination. It does have a couple of little new parts on it, like an aluminum radiator, but for the most part, this thing is done within the early 70s styling. So under the hood, big block Chevy, and this happens to be an LS7 454. It's got those big, tall Mickey Thompson fin valve covers on it, aluminum intake, bright yellow plug wires. This got a really good looking engine combination, and then it has an M22 4-speed behind it, a 12-bolt rear end with 411 gears, of course, and this thing has a perfect tire and wheel combination. It's got skinny Kragers on the front with skinny bias ply tires, and much bigger Kragers on the back with some M&H cheater slicks. This thing sits just right. It has a great interior that's all stock aside from just a couple of little pieces. This thing is an absolute showstopper in my opinion. It's a great example of a day 2 muscle car. The stance, the color combination, and the fact that this thing is paying tribute to some of the Baldwin motion cars of the 60s and 70s, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Now this is a little outside the realm of what I normally cover, but I had to show it here. This thing is the baddest Buick Grand National that's ever been built. You can see twin turbocharged engine under the hood, and then they even put a factory looking interior together. Even though every piece of this thing is custom, it still has that Grand National look. And this car has raised wheel wells with flared out fenders, big wheels that kind of replicate the original GNX wheels. Of course, a slick black paint job. This thing is just out of this world. Here's another pro street car, this time a 67 Mustang Coupe. It's got a 302 Ford motor underneath that snorkel scoop, big ProStar wheels, Mickey Thompson radials on the back, great stance, great paint job, really neat car. Now this is a little more my speed, a rough old race car. I love old race cars because they always have history, they always have a story. Now, I didn't get the story on this one, but I did make a lap around it. This thing's 69 Camaro. You can see it's got the old Firestone slicks on the back and the old Lexan windows. A lot of old pieces still hanging on here, but the really crazy part to me is that this is a running and driving car with a 400 small block in it and a power glide. And the fact that it's a 69 Camaro that's complete, this car was priced at $11,000 cash talks. So this thing was clearly a rough car, something you'd have to really put a lot of work into, but where else are you going to get a 69 Camaro that you can drive on the drag strip for that kind of money? Now here's one of the wildest and cleanest pro street cars that I saw in Pigeon Forge this year. This little Chevette was absolutely slick. You can see it's got giant tires up under the back of it with some beadlock wheels, cool little front runners up here, and then of course underneath that hood it's got a rowdy small block Chevy. It has a billet blower shop blower on it, injector hat sticking up. I mean, this thing has got a killer setup. This car has a great paint job and a great stance. Really cool car in my opinion. Last but not least, we're looking at a 68 Chevelle, and this appears to be a super sport car. But what got my attention is the 80s style Pro Street stance. This is more like early 80s when Pro Street was first becoming a thing, mainly because you see this car has Krager SS wheels on it, and that was sort of a 70s and early 80s thing. So this is just a car that sticks out to me because I used to see this stuff all the time cruising the street in Pigeon Forge, and it got my attention this time around. Now let's finish this video off with some great cruising action right on the strip in Pigeon Forge. And when the sun goes down, the action gets a little bit crazy, but I'm mainly focused here on the old cars, the cool cars that I saw cruising up and down the road.